The story of the 23-year-old woman, her 65-year-old father, and 62-year-old mother, unfolding on the digital pages of Reddit, is far more than just a domestic dispute. It has a deep, unsettling look into the dynamics of a dysfunctional family, where a seemingly innocuous sound morphs into a trigger for explosive anger and violence. At the heart of this drama is the scraping sound of cutlery against ceramic plates. For some, it has a minor detail, but for our protagonist, it has an auditory nightmare, akin to nails on a chalkboard. Escalation of conflict, from sound to violence. Imagine the scene: a quiet family dinner, abruptly interrupted by a sound unbearable to the daughter. She voices her discomfort, likely hoping for understanding or at least an attempt to mitigate the situation. But instead, her father, seemingly already on edge, reacts with extreme aggression. His words, "You should suck it up," and even the threat to do it on purpose, demonstrate an unwillingness to compromise and a complete lack of empathy. This is a classic example of a defensive reaction, where an individual, instead of listening to another's feelings, becomes defensive and aggressive. The conflict quickly escalates into a shouting match. The daughter, in a fit of desperation and perhaps at the peak of her tolerance, resorts to offensive language. And here lies the turning point. The father, unable to withstand the verbal assault, resorts to physical violence, pinning his daughter's arms. When the mother attempts to intervene, she too is caught in the crossfire. This act of physical assault is an absolute red line, crossing which signifies deep-seated issues within the family system and, potentially, repressed aggression that has been accumulating over time. Psychological profile of a family. Unresolved conflicts and trauma. The story vividly illustrates several psychological phenomena. Misophonia. While not explicitly mentioned in the post, the daughter's strong reaction to specific sounds closely resembles misophonia, a neurological disorder where specific sounds, most often oral sounds like chewing, breathing, swallowing, trigger intense negative emotional and physiological reactions. If this is the case, these sounds are not merely annoying to the daughter, they cause genuine distress, making the father's reaction even more inhumane. Narcissistic or authoritarian traits. The father's reaction: refusal to acknowledge the problem. Aggressive behavior. Resorting to violence may indicate narcissistic personality traits or an authoritarian parenting style. In such families, the feelings and needs of one member, often a parent, dominate over all others, and disagreement is perceived as a personal affront. Codependency dynamics. The mother's role in this story also raises questions. Her attempt to intervene, followed by her retreat with the daughter, could be a sign of codependency. Often in dysfunctional families, one partner becomes a helper or rescuer who tries to smooth things over but doesn't address the root cause, thereby inadvertently maintaining the existing dynamic. Unresolved trauma. The author's comment that the father might have undiagnosed mental health issues is crucial. Unresolved psychological traumas, whether from childhood or adulthood, e.g., related to abuse, neglect, alcoholism in the family, can manifest as uncontrolled outbursts of anger, low frustration tolerance, and difficulty expressing emotions constructively. It is possible the father himself is a victim, which, of course, does not excuse his actions but helps to explain them. Voices from the crowd. Public reaction and solutions. The comments section of the Reddit post is a microcosm of public opinion, reflecting the complexity of the situation. Empathy for the victim. Many users express sympathy for the daughter, confirming that misophonia is a real issue and that no one should tolerate abuse. This highlights the importance of acknowledging emotional pain caused by seemingly minor things. Critique of both sides. Some commenters point out that the daughter also bears some responsibility for the escalation by using insults. This is an important point. In conflict situations, there is rarely only one guilty party. However, this is not equivalent to justifying physical violence. The goal of such comments is likely to encourage self-reflection and understanding how one's own behavior can influence the conflict dynamic. Call to action. The most constructive comments unanimously urge the daughter to take action. Move out. Seek professional help. Therapist, lawyer. Set clear boundaries, or completely cut off contact if the situation doesn't change. This emphasizes that in cases of chronic abuse or dysfunction, distancing oneself and seeking external resources are often the only paths to one's own well-being. Conclusion. Lessons learned. This story is a powerful reminder that violence is unacceptable. No disagreements justify physical violence. It is always a red line, after which decisive action must be taken. Sounds matter. For some individuals, certain sounds can be a source of genuine suffering. It is important to learn to show empathy and respect for others' sensitivities. Unresolved problems destroy. Unresolved psychological traumas and dysfunctional behavioral patterns can shatter family relationships from within. There is a way out. In situations like this, it is crucial to remember that you are not alone. Resources and professionals exist who can help establish healthy boundaries, heal from trauma, and find a path to a safe and happy future. This story is just one of countless examples of hidden dramas unfolding behind closed doors. It urges us not to turn a blind eye to abuse, to learn to recognize warning signs, and most importantly, reminds us that everyone has the right to a safe and healthy environment. What are your thoughts on this story? What lessons would you take away from it for yourself?